Right, good morning, everyone. I'd like to call to order the Judicial and Public Safety Committee for September 20th. Roll call, please. Here.
Sorry. Member Covert, Member Desart, Member Eckhoff, Member Garcia, here, Member Krajewski, Member Ozog, Member Pachowski, Member Schwarzy, Member Selman, Member Zay.
All right, thank you. We have a quorum. Do we have any public comment?
No, there is no public comment.
All right, thank you. So good morning, everyone. After many months in development, we're going to have a first look at a new online presence meant to inform residents where crime is happening or maybe not happening in our county. Several DuPage County municipalities have already introduced online reporting. Naperville is a great example if you've had a chance to take a look at that. And it's been very well received. So at the county level today, you're going to hear from IT Chief Information Officer Anthony McPherson, along with Tom Ricker of GIS. Our technology chair, Selman, and law enforcement have all been working together, collaborating on how to best capture and map real calls for service. This will increase transparency on crime statistics and will be helpful to this board in assessing needs. So I look forward to that presentation. Secondly, we're going to continue with approvals for the sheriff that we had discussed in our August finance special call. So included in that is $150,000 for merit. I'm of the opinion at this point, we might want to consider an annual amount for the sheriff's budget to provide continuing support for merit instead of doing a piecemeal approach. But that's up for discussion. So, and thirdly, I'd just like to let everyone know, public safety, happy to announce Sterigenics was found to be responsible for causing cancer. And I appreciate our justice system downtown, the jury found them at fault, $363 million verdict. So many lives affected in a 25-mile radius. And so we'll all be watching that, I'm sure. With that, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of Tuesday, September 6th. Any additions, questions? All in favor? Any opposed? That passes. I'll take a motion on JPSP 26422, recommendation for approval of a contract purchase order to Rail-X Conveyor Corporation for purchase of clothing conveyors and installation for the Sheriff's Office, September 27th, 2022 through September 26th, 2023, not to exceed $72,042.83. Any questions here? Yes, Member Garcia and then Member Desart.
Yeah, quick question. Just a little bit of a brief outline of exactly how this conveyor works. I'm trying to figure it out, and I just wanted to understand exactly how it works.
Oh, later I'll hit them all and get it. Relax. So the conveyor belt works just like your dry cleaners. Is it pretty much exactly like your dry cleaner conveyor belt, but it is larger and it's double rung. So every detainee that comes in, all their personal property are put in very large bags, so they can be hung on the conveyor. It's probably, how big is that room, Bob? 30 by 20 room, and if it's one on the male side, one on the female side. The one on both of them are 39 years old. They're from the original building in 1980. We've patched it, we've played with it, we've changed parts, and we're at end of life. It is currently not working. So
then basically they stay up there on the conveyor belt, their personal items, until they are released or
until they're
somewhere
released,
else.
Or they have to go to a court and it's ordered that they wear their civilian clothes or anything of that nature, why they would need some out of there.
So that's how you basically store their personal items.
Correct.
Okay, that's how you know. Thank you.
Member Desart.
Thank you. Yeah, I had a couple of questions about A and B, so I'll just ask them both now. And you've answered some of it. The packet doesn't say what that's for, but now you've explained that, or if it was a replacement item or a new item, and you've explained that. What about B? The same questions for B. Are they new or replacement items, and will it be used for?
B is an X-ray machine. It is the replacement X-ray machine for the bomb team. So it's the mobile X-ray machine where they were going to a scene and be able to see what's in the package or behind the door. Right now, the current machine shows gray, so you cannot identify what you're looking for.
So you're just upgrading the unit.
Correct.
Thank you. And also, just a point of note that on the budget transfer for these two items, Chair Renahan on 8A, which we'll be voting on in a minute, the accounting is off, the numbers are off. Just to point that. Thanks, Eddie.
All right, thank you. Any other questions or comments here? All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That passes. I'll take a motion on JPS P 26522, recommendation for approval of a contract purchase order to Atlantic Diving Supply for purchase of an X-ray machine with battery charger for the sheriff, not to exceed $42,362.11. Made a motion and a second. Any questions here? Additional questions? No? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That passes. Take a motion on resolution FIR 37822, acceptance and appropriation of the donated funds initiative program PY 23 for the state's attorney's office, $103,119. And any questions here? All in favor? Any opposed? That passes. Take a motion on amendment JPSR 35722A, amendment to resolution JPSR 35722, approving the DuPage County Sheriff's Office execution of an IGA with Emergency Telephone Systems Board to provide replacement radios for end of life support. Something we discussed last time. It was a Scrivener's error. This is for the Sheriff's Office. Any questions here? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Moving to budget transfers. I'll take a motion on budget transfer 8A, transfer of funds from
So moved.
contingencies to additional funding contribution for the sheriff's capital projects request for FY 2022. So I'm sorry, 2023 to be funded in FY 2022. This includes the conveyor system and portable X-ray machine for the sheriff's office. We have a motion and a second, and I see member to start.
Yeah, this is the one where the math is off. So I'd like to make a motion to amend the amount from $114,405 to $114,405.94.
Madam Chair, if I may,
Yes.
on budget transfers, we do it to the whole number. That's with the budgeting. So that's why it's off by that 6 cents.
Wouldn't it go up then? Go up since it's
It
94
should
cents?
be, it
Wouldn't
should
go
be
up?
6 cents higher, actually, because adding up the two procurements, I got to 114,405.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Then I withdraw my amendment. Thank you.
Okay, we are really getting down to it here. Thank you. Any additional questions or comments here? All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Great, that passes. I'll take a motion on budget transfer 8B, transfer of funds from contingencies.
So
So
moved.
second.
Moving to cover 100,000 increase in arrestees medical services for the jail operations for the sheriff's office. We have a motion and a second. Questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes. I'll take a motion on budget transfer 8C, transferring funds also from contingencies, 150,000 being awarded to Merit for the sheriff's office.
Second.
A motion and a second. Member Krajewski.
Yes, thank you. Back in August, when member Chair Chaplin, Finance Chair, and myself met with staff to talk about the $40-some million surplus that we had this year and what we could do with those reserves, we went through a number of items. At the time, Merit had looking for a request. We put in a placeholder of $150,000 for the equipment, et cetera, that they would need. We also talked about, and you just mentioned earlier in your opening chairman's comments about an annual amount. They were looking for $50,000 a year on a go-forward basis funding, but not for next year. That would be included in what was given to them out of this year's surplus. So then starting in 2024 and farther, they would look for a $50,000 annual amount. At that, just before our special call, the night before, I received a letter from Chief Gunther, who's the president of Merit, from Westmont Police Chief, and then Vice President from Woodridge, Chief Cunningham. They sent us the detail request. It was $211,850. I did raise that at the special call, and I did forward that letter on to staff, Jeff and Nick, back the night before our special call. And again, I raised it there. I did see yesterday when we saw this on the agenda, I didn't see anything regarding, what Merit had requested. So I did ask for this to be sent out to all the board members. I was told last night that they couldn't send it out. So they made copies for me. They gave this morning. So I'm going to just make an amendment to do the full $211,850 that Merit had requested from the county board. Again, I'm not sure why this didn't get in. And just to note too, Jeff, sent out to Member Chapman and myself, just the updated numbers from September. Our September sales tax just came in, it's second highest ever in the history of the county, only surpassed or below Christmas of last year. So it was another $500,000 more than even last month, which was our second highest. So it's still running, and it was 1.8 million over budget. Income tax again was way over. So we're going to continue to have a surplus at least for this year, probably more than what we even projected. This is only 61,000, and again, it would be out of this year's budget. Going forward, I agree with you. I think just an annual amount, and the in 2024 and forward was 50,000 a year. So thank you.
Great. Any other comments here? So we had a motion by Member Krajewski and a second by Member back row. Zay, okay. So any other discussion on that? I had not received that letter requesting 211,000. I mean, I would appreciate if Merit, whoever, if they want to come to, bring it to my attention, I'm happy to bring it forward, or whoever is the chair of the committee, because it's hard to go forward on information if we just don't have it. So that was, back in August. I mean, I think last night I received that letter. So I personally have no issue with the $211,000, but I think instead of doing this piecemeal, as I said, every time they need something, I think it's much more fortuitous for this board to just give a certain amount, and then they can learn to budget, and set their priorities accordingly, because I don't think every time they need to buy something, it needs to be an emergency situation for this board to have to handle. Does anybody else have any comments here? Member Sart.
Thank you, Chairwoman. I just want to say that we put that $150,000 in there as a placeholder, and I really appreciate that they actually spelled out each item that they need for this drone program. So I fully support Member Krajewski's amendment.
Okay, great. Any other comments?
Just say part of what we're doing, not just with Merit, but we're taking some of the stuff from 2023 where people will be coming to us from 23 and putting it into this year's surplus. And staff's doing a good job of trying to take pressures off of next year and future budgets with regards to, especially salary increases. So again, it's good to put as much as we can into this year, considering we have the surplus. Thank you.
We know, right? All right. All in favor on the amendment? Aye. Any opposed? Great. That passes. Thank you, Member Juicy. Moving on to change. Oh, now I need a motion to approve as amended. Budget transfer 8C. All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Great, that passes. Moving to change orders at 9A, I'll take a motion on change order county contract 5071-0001 serve issued to Allied Universal Technology Services to decrease by $17,592.58 and close for Homeland Security. With a motion and a second. Questions here? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? I'll take a motion on change order 9B, county contract 5361-0001 serve issued to Forensic Psychology Group LLC, decrease and close $29,400 for probation. Questions here? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Pass. I'll take a motion on change order 9C, consent item, county contract 5279-0001 serve issued to Dr. Tara Fulmer. This is also decrease and close $70,300 for probation for services. Motion and a second. Do we have a second? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That passes. Moving on to informational items, I'll take a motion to receive and place on file the Public Defender's Office August 2022 monthly statistical report. Motion and a second. Questions here? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That passes. And now we are moving on to our presentation. If I can welcome up, let's see, we have Anthony McPherson and Tom Ricker. Welcome. We're on Police Transparency Crime Stat Portal. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, and thank you very much. Good morning, JPS committee members. Thank you very much for giving us an opportunity to present to you what we think is a great solution to providing crime data to the 32 law enforcement agencies that we currently partner with and work with today, as well as providing crime stats to our constituents throughout DuPage County. This portal is a combination of working under the leadership of Madam Chair, who gave us direction over the past 3 months, as well as working with the Sheriff's Office, who has given us insights into what makes sense, what doesn't make sense. So I think it's a good first draft of this solution. So keep that in mind, that we have the ability to make adjustments to the portal, add more stats, take away some stats if required. But it's a great first start. It also takes data directly from our police records management system and puts it into this ESRI, ESRI, which you've heard of before, GIS system application to show crime patterns, right? So great tool. I'm gonna get out of the way. I'm gonna let the subject matter experts step in to go through a live demo of our portal application. Tom Rickard, our GIS manager, will lead, but I also wanna give credit to Tamara Freehot, who's actually going to be the person behind the scenes, showing us what's going on. She also played a really big part in helping us configure the new application portal. Without further ado, Tom will come up and give us a live demo.
Okay, well, thank you. Again, what we're going to show you here is, first of all, is the hub application. The hub application is kind of the stepping stone. It's the gateway to the data. Okay. With the hub site, it's around initiative, and in this case, the initiative is police transparency and crime. What we're going to do is show you the public end first, and then we're going to log in and show you what staff will see. So through the hub site, there's various levels. Public goes in first, they can see this information. When you log in, it'll open up additional app for county sheriff, and that giving more information for them so they can do analysis all through the one application of the hub site. So as we go through here, this is where we're logged on, as the public will see. As they go through, you'll see basic crime stats numbers. Okay. The number that you're seeing, calls for service, and then the 2021, all those crimes there, that is coming in from the RMS system. So as a record is being updated in the RMS system, we're pulling that data live, and it's changing that number. You also see a panel there where we've got additional applications, so you can explore the various crimes, where we've got crime against property, persons, and society, and then keep going up. We'll come back to these, to the actual applications. And then keep going up. Some other additional application. I'll go, yeah, let's go down to the bottom there. Some various apps, we'll go into those. And then we've got some social media links that are to the site that goes out to the sheriff's social media. Also crime tips that goes out to their existing crime tips site that they have already, that goes out there. So that's just a direct link to what they already have. And then there's a community survey as well. And then there's the social medias. That's all within the one hub site there. So let's go up into the application. One of the first applications, go to any one of those. These are all kind of the interface is basically the same. And these are the dashboard that you've probably seen before. So as you go in there, it's bringing clusters in. So as you can see, the larger circles, those are where the clusters of this. And as you zoom in, those numbers will change. Those will break out. Mm-hmm. This isn't yet, but this application will be.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't rolled it out, no, to the public yet, but
No, but it looks
yes,
like it.
this one, yes,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
Yes. So as you go through, you can go and click on, you want to see everything within the last 7 days, 14 days, 30 days, 60 days, you just hit that button.
Tom, just real quick, is those crime statistics, is that just our sheriff, or is that every agency?
This is just these are the calls that are coming from the sheriff.
So it has nothing to do with all the calls going to all the different municipalities?
This is the sheriff site. So we filtered out just the calls that are serviced by the sheriff's office.
Okay, because that may be a little miscommunication. I mean, because the public will be thinking that I'm in Downers Grove or I'm in Clarendon Hills and I'm going to be looking to see what the crime is in kind of my area, but I'm not, I'm just seeing. the
We have
sheriff.
we have that data and it'll be up to, you know, if the sheriff, if they wish to show that
Okay, I just-
information, that's there.
Yeah, we have the ability to pull that data in. We're just working. So again, this is really a mock and we're looking for your guidance and we have not released it yet.
It's fine, just so people know what they're looking at.
Yeah,
If they're
yeah,
looking-
so, but we have the ability to pull
Okay.
in for the rest of those 32 agencies that we work with under RMS. So
Okay.
we can pull their data.
No, that's fine. I just want to know this is just the sheriff. So thank you.
So as you see there, we have basically filters that you could just go through. You can select the date range in this if you wish. You want to see from a certain date. The top 10 crimes, if filter by month, and you can filter by group, by the different crimes. So if you wanted to see all the burglaries within a certain month range, you can do that. You can also click on with the graph. So if you want to see where all the burglaries were, you can just click on that bar graph and it'll highlight, it'll just filter out just where the burglaries are. So you can even go further. I want to see just where the burglaries are between this month and this month. Where were they? And it'll show you that on the map. Okay. And then you can see the counter as it changes. So if you click on there, you can see where the 13 burglaries were. And then you see how the clusters come through. Okay. Those three apps are basically the same interface. So it's the same functionality where you hit the buttons, you hit the graphs, and it brings those out. Okay, let's go to the crime mapping. This is a more in-depth application. So here's where you've got basic filters where you can turn on, you see the little switches there. You can turn on a switch and you can see all the calls, say in the incorporated area. You can select the crime category. There's the the group code of what group it would be under. So as you can go, you can just basically turn on those little switches in the filters and giving you the updated information. So here you can go crime by 14 days, again, 30 days, okay? And this is also, you got the analytics end of it. So yeah, scroll down tomorrow, so all the different options in the left-hand side. Yeah, there's the analytics. So you can see all the various different crimes, the patterns of how it happens through the month of the year, the crime per day, and then the actual hour. So you can filter down by the month, the day, and see when that crime spikes during the day, what time during the day that it goes up. So you can really filter that information down. And then we have a basic table, just gives you the table of the information that you're looking at. Very, very kind of simple. It's just turning what you want to see and then selecting what you want. And then the map changes and gives you the count. Again, the counts and the numbers. And then you can go and see the actual graph and really break it down by hour, by day for that particular crime or crimes. Okay. Let's go and log on. Now here's what, if you go to the upper right, you're going to see the hub site change. As we log on, you're going to see additional panels with additional applications that are going to show up for staff. You can see along the upper left there where it says police transparency, there's going to be additional options that open up there as well. Now this is what staff would be seeing as they log onto the hub site. These additional applications will open up for staff.
You know,
The stats.
we're gonna hold the questions until the end of the presentation, please.
So as you can see there, now this additional came up. So you got participating communities, crime stats. You've got additional application. This is for officers can go in. Now this is all the crime data. this is all the data that's coming out of the RMS system from all the different participating municipalities. So again, here they can go ahead, and this has additional stuff. As you see down below, we've got calls for service, crimes. So you've got your crimes, and then you've got your calls for service. So you can get an officer can be called out to a location, but there's no crime that happened. We're still pulling that information in. This is all the crimes per date, year to date. So you can go and filter out different agencies. And you can see we've got, scroll down so you can just see all the different options. So you got different, the officer, you want to see if they want to see what officer was called, they can do that. We're also pulling in the actual beat areas. So if there's a certain, I want to see in beat area 1, all the different crimes that are happening in that. So we're funneling down to those beat locations throughout the county for the sheriff's department. You can see the graphs are changing. So you can see the days, the hours of the week, and then the top 5 crimes. And the same kind of premise, it's the dashboard, counters changing, graphs change as you're filtering out the information. We've worked at the last week, we met with the sheriff's department, their staff, with this one, they want to, like I said, keep all the information, all the crime information, because then you can see trends, what's happening from an unincorporated area to an incorporated area, to start seeing those crime statistics across those corporate boundaries. Okay. Any questions?
Questions I have to start, Zay, maybe Krajewski and Shorzy.
Thank you. Yeah, going off of Member Krajewski's additional question about our 32 municipal partners. Do all of them have the system as well, so we can get that information from all of them?
We can. That's something we've looked at. We talked about it.
Because like if I'm a parent of a small child, I would want to know all of the sex offenders in my area, not just to,
Yeah, no, we agree
DuPage
100%.
stats, but the whole Naperville area.
Yeah, so we do have licensing to expand it to technically 31 police agencies. 32 is the state's attorney's office. The 31 of the agencies. We wanted to first work with the sheriff's office and then present to you guys. Then we're going to go to the RMS, PRMS team, committees of chiefs, to present it to them as well, get their approval to incorporate their data.
That's great. So eventually a citizen will be able to pull up the data from the county and their.
That's our goal.
community. Okay, good.
Since we control the data throughout the entire county, we'd like to share all crime stats.
Thank you so much for all your work on this. Both of you, this is really incredible. And the sheriff's office, this is awesome. Thank you.
Member Zay and then Krajewski.
Thank you. Who inputs all this data? Is it automatically coming in? The officers,
when they fill out the report in the RMS system, that we're pulling that directly from the RMS system into the GIS.
so we don't have anybody manually sitting around and inputting it?
No.
We
That
don't,
delays-
no.
That delays the lag time then, so it's pretty much.
It's
up
pretty
to
real
date
time.
on real
Yeah, so it's the
Yeah,
officers.
that's what we've been working on. The RMS has tons of different tables, and we've had to join one table to another, and we had arrest codes and descriptions and making all those connections in this massive database is what we've been doing. That's what you're seeing here.
Great, thank you.
Krajewski, Shorzy, Garcia.
Couple of quick questions. You said the RMS system participating agencies. Does that mean are all of our agencies in DuPage participating in RMS?
All except for 2 agencies.
Which are?
The
That's all right.
Naperville and Bartlett. Thank you.
So
Sorry.
Naperville, so if you lived in Naperville and you wanted to see the crimes in your area, we wouldn't have the ability to.
You wouldn't have the ability. So
They wouldn't have the ability to do that.
That's
Okay.
correct.
Because I think
So-
most, 80–90% of the counties incorporated, and people using this is great what you put together, but they're going to be clicking in their neighborhood and in their town and finding out what crimes are there.
Mhm.
So maybe with the exception of Bartlett, then you mentioned that in your department and worked with the sheriff. And it's based on what the officers write into the system. Did we talk with the state's attorney? Because is there a chance that whatever's put in there, then when it gets to the state's attorney for actual charges, the charges are different than actually what became written up in the arrest?
I think that's a great idea. So we have
I'm
not,
just asking the question, is that, I'm seeing some nods maybe. So does that happen?
Yes, that would be my understanding. The state's attorney does have the right to change the charges, and Mr. State or Assistant State's Attorney, please tell me if I'm wrong, but yes, there would be times when that
So I
could
mean,
occur.
the real data would be what the state's attorney charges with, not necessarily what the officer wrote up in the report.
Well, the way I understand it now, if it's taking it right from the RMS system, then if that's how they're doing it, then it's automatically showing us that. It's a good point. As I went through this, I wasn't at the actual demonstration the Deputy Chief Bill to do. I was filled in on it later. There are some concerns from me on the law enforcement side about certain data going out at certain times based on the fact that a case might be pending, things like that. So I think it's a valid point to bring up.
Because I didn't hear the state's attorney's office as a participant, but they're the ones that ultimately are going to decide what the charge is going to be for the crime statistic, I would think.
I think it's a great
So,
point.
yeah, just
We
something
can,
to think about while you're putting it together.
again, this is not available to
Sure, no, I
anyone
understand.
outside of this group. But we will make sure that we meet with them and get that direct input from them. Also, I think what we can do is work on what data we release at what time.
Sure, yeah, I think we try to get all the agencies in this thing, but I mean, it's great what you put together. And then the other is we're sitting, what data to put in. And yeah, I would check to get the number right with Chief Judge Hopejoy, but conversation I had with him the other day, one thing with this Safety Act, getting it ready to implement part of the no cash bail on January 1st is, the statistics on how many people are out there that don't come back for their court dates. And the Chief Judge told me the other day, and maybe just verify that number, but there's 208 people currently right up now that have not showed back up for their court date that did post bail. And there's active arrest warrants for them. So there's 208 of them that haven't showed up. I'm sure that number is going to increase when it goes to a no cash bail, but just to have those numbers out there of how many are out there that just haven't showed back up in a court. And I like all the details of the crimes that you show in the neighborhood and the towns, because people want to see what the residential burglaries were or what the, whatever ABC was in their town. So, but I mean, I think the stats and the stuff that you put together is great. Just making sure we got the right data and what data.
Yep, that makes all the sense in the world. So one of the things that we're going to do after this presentation is provide you with access to the portal for you to take a look at it individually, jot down your thoughts, comments, concerns, get them to us so that we can make some adjustments. And we will absolutely meet with the state's attorney's office as well.
We have been provided with the hub application. I think we did the same kind of application for some of the redistricting. So a lot of you all have logins to the hub, what we call the hub community. So I'll just be resending those out, those logins for you, and you'll have access to it. Another thing with the data, where it's coming, what actual charge is coming out of the report system. If there is a flag in the system that says, yeah, this is now gone to the court systems or whatever, if that's something that we can set. So when that flag is switched from, yes to no or whatever, that's something that we can build into view. So that all of a sudden it won't be shown. Then that switch is done in the RMS system. Then it opens up and comes into the application. So there are ways that we can work with that data.
Member Schwarzy, Garcia, and then Bachowski, and then Werner cut off because we're over time already.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a little clarification. So this system's hooked up directly to the RMS system.
That's correct.
So as an officer types his report, this updates in real time.
It is real time. It may be a few minutes
What we have to do is once the updated record is in the RMS system, we'll have a script that'll periodically say every hour, because we do have to pull the address to put the point on the map to do the.
So there'll be there'll be timed.
Yeah, it's not gonna be.
You not as an officer's typing something up and hit send and this is going to update right when you're looking at it. It'll be incremented.
This is Dave Jordan. He's the manager of
I manage the RMS system. As far as calls for services, there'll be calls for services come into RMS system live. So every hour when they're pulling that. An incident, however, that you're seeing on here with an offense to it only comes into RMS once it's an approved incident report. It's gone through the approval process. So when the officer is writing it and submits it, it still has to go through their internal approval process before it makes it up into RMS and make it into the system.
Helpful. Thank you very much.
Member Garcia.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chairwoman Runhan. Can I just have it focus in on to like one of the dots? I just trying to see how much information is given out when this is given. I love the transparency, but I actually am a little concerned about the people who, maybe the victims' rights and those who are not actually proven guilty yet. And I just wanted to see if it's like we're giving out people's addresses or.
No, it's very high level.
That's what I couldn't figure out.
There's no addresses. It's just the actual incident.
Okay,
Oh, sorry. It's just the actual incident.
okay.
And then as you saw there, as you zoom in, the actual point goes away.
It goes
We have-
away.
we
Okay,
have a
that's
scale-
great. I just
We
want
have
to
a
make sure.
scale factor, so
If something were to happen at my house, I'm not sure I
Yeah.
would want all of my neighbors to
Yeah.
know if it was something that
Right.
wasn't even actually.
yeah, you wouldn't see the actual name. You
Yeah,
just see
okay.
you just see the incident. And like I said, we have a scale factor, so when you zoom in, it stays on during the city, the neighborhood, and then I think at the block level, we have it turned off, so you can't see the actual address location of
Perfect.
the crime.
I just don't want to be getting into, I don't want to be not valuing people's privacy. And I, as a neighborhood, we all want to know this information, but I actually don't want to be interfering with their privacy also. So this is great. Okay, thank you.
Now, the application, when you log in, that the police officers see, that additional panel that we showed, okay, that one goes down to the actual address, because those are officers that are looking at that. They maybe want to do a little more research.
Yeah, that's fine. If an officer knows it.
Vice Chair Pachowski.
Is this being done in other counties or Cook County?
Yes, yeah, other counties and
Is it the same
municipalities.
system that we have, or is it something different? I was just curious if we're compatible or doing different than what other.
A
counties do.
little bit of both. So the counties and municipalities that use ESRI, ESRI, they're using, it's very similar. So this is their crime application. They have GS application. This is one of the applications that comes with the suite that we have under ESRI. So yeah.
All right, great. Well, thank you both for your presentation. I mean, I think the collaboration that's been going on here between, IT, GIS, the sheriff coming to the table and being so welcoming with this new technology and transparency, I think is just a great step forward. And the level of detail, Tom Ricker, that you bring to everything you do is just outstanding. So thank you. With that, thank you very much. We're moving to old business. Yes, Member Ozog.
Thank you, Madam Chair. A couple of weeks ago, we had a discussion about a $40 million surplus of primarily tax or sales tax money. And a proposal that was made talked about a $10 million structure for the sheriff's vehicles. And I really think that we need to look at a lot of other alternatives before we would commit to spending that kind of money. I totally agree that we do need to have some facility to house these expensive vehicles that we purchased in the last few years, expensive and necessary. However, I think there's a lot of different options that we need to explore. And the board at the special call meeting approved $150,000 in engineering study money, which again, I want to be sure that when that starts, or if we're going to pursue this, we look at a lot of different options. So today I'd like to, for your consideration, look at a different idea. I contacted a company called Armstrong Steel Corporation. They're out of Denver. And I asked them to just come up with some kind of a steel structure. We just threw some numbers at the wall, 75 feet by 100 feet long, 20 feet eave height, several massive doors, et cetera. And the cost for this kind of structure, it also has a 50-year guarantee. We could also do various color schemes that could blend in, et cetera. But the cost for this structure at that type of size is $139,700. So if you tripled that amount, because you would of course have to have a concrete pad, utilities, construction fees, et cetera, you could still do something like this structure for $500,000. And I think something like that would certainly serve the needs of what we, or the purpose of what we want to accomplish. As for the garden, there's other options for where it could be located. I certainly acknowledge the importance of that as one of our inmate programs, but there's a lot of other options. It's even theoretically possible that you could use the unused 4th floor for indoor hydroponics. I'm throwing that out there because we can do a lot of things with this $40 million, but I think the $10 million for this structure is excessive and we need to be thinking about different ideas. So I'm going to submit this to our secretary and to this chairman as a starting point for discussions of how we can do this a lot more economically. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Member Ozog. Do we have any other old business? Do we have any new business? Member Zay.
Yeah, I did have one question. I know we're redoing the front entrance and I've been told by staff that we're actually redoing it and there's room for, it's being designed for a scanner to put in there. For when people come through, they actually would be looked at. I think if we're building it to that, maybe we should look at actually getting the machines and talk about staffing it. Be kind of silly if we build something and have it to be added on later and something happens and go, why didn't we do it? And we're talking about surplus money. I think that's something we should really look at more secure in the 421 building. I think it would go a long way with our staff here to make sure that this building is secured. And maybe Chief Griggs can let us know on that.
You know, I gotta say, I could not agree more with you. We had this discussion when we went through this exercise, myself, Vice Chair Pachowski. And at the time it was somewhat, being said that there was no money, and now we have a $40 million surplus. I think this should absolutely be back on the table. Yep.
No, I'm looking at it right now.
Okay.
So I'm looking at what it would cost us, especially the manpower is the major portion.
And would you be able to staff that through the company we have right now?
Well,
Just the
that's,
additional funds?
those are certain things we're gonna have to look at.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so it'll be at least 2 people, 10 hours a day.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, can we have a show of hands on the board right now of who would be in favor of going forward with the magnetometer? And all right, so be advised, staff, that we're interested in going forward with this. Thank you, Member Zay, for bringing that up. Do we have any other new business? All right, I'll take a motion to adjourn. All in favor? All right, thank you, everyone.